Welcome to the SEC on ESPN. There in Northwest Arkansas, it was about 90 degrees yesterday. It's about 40 degrees cooler today, but the fans are ready. This monster series, game one of a top 10 matchup, the 5th-ranked Florida Gators and the 9th-ranked Arkansas Razorbacks. It is going to be a fun weekend here in Fayetteville. It is supposed to warm up again. Great to have you with us, along with former Tennessee All-American Madison Shipman. I'm Mark Neely. Let's begin with the Gators. Second straight weekend for them to really get a serious test to the SEC. Last weekend, it was against then number one Carlin Pickens in Tennessee, and they took 2 of 3.
Yeah, you know you're going to get tested every single weekend in the SEC, but people across the country were really looking forward to that series last weekend because coming into SEC play, Florida had only played one team that was ranked in the top 25, and then they were going head-to-head against the number one team at the time in the country in Tennessee. And oh yeah, that was a team that quite frankly just did not give up runs. But going into Game 3, series is tied 1-1. Starts off a battle with Taylor Shoemaker going yard in the first inning, went back and forth too. Florida offense was able to capitalize on a couple of Tennessee miscues, but they fired back. Gabby Leach ended up hitting a 2-run shot to bring the game close towards the end of the ball game, but ultimately it ended up being Keegan Rothrock. That was the one that was out there to close the door to get them the series win over then number one ranked Tennessee. And the way that the offense was able to produce against a team too that just did not give up runs is something that really impressed me about this Florida Gators team.
So the Gators come in 32-2, 8-1 in conference, and they take on this Arkansas team that plays great defense and hits the ball well for power. Really, both these teams do.
Yeah, I tell you what, Mark, if you love defense and you love offense, this is exactly the series that you want to be keeping your eyes on. This Razorback team has been really, really solid, both in their offensive production, but also the defense. I think that that's something that takes a lot of pressure off of the pitchers when they're out there in the circle, when they have that reliable defense back behind them.
Let's take a look at the Gators starting lineup for head coach Tim Walton. Notice Townsend Thomas is back at the top of the order, with Shoemaker batting in the 2-hole. And we are ready to roll here. First pitch comes in. We are underway, and we didn't know who was going to make the start for Arkansas until about an hour and a half before the game, and then we find out it's Robin Herron.
Robin Herron has been a huge piece for this pitching staff, too, for Arkansas, not just this year, but in previous years as well.
Hit on the ground sharply to short, and Rio up with that quickly and gets the out at first. A couple of pitches, and Herron has a quick out. There's a look at the numbers for Robin Herron. That ERA well under 2.
And you're going to look at that line, too, and you see 17 walks and 51 in a third innings pitch. But talking to Coach Courtney Deifel, she said some of her most efficient games are the games where she actually ends up walking a few more batters.
Taylor Shoemaker batting in the 2 spot. Tell me more about what we can expect from Robin Herron.
Really good velocity in the mid-60s, likes to work the upspin pitches at the top part of the zone, has that curveball and that rise ball combination that she's going to work in there. Also has a really effective changeup too. That's the pitch that she's going to really need to use against this very powerful Florida Gators offense. And this is a team too, like we just mentioned, coming in, riding a lot of momentum off of that win against Tennessee.
You saw Shoemaker's numbers there, and yes, she is hitting over 500. We are deep into the season. Well,
yeah, that's
for the
not
Gators,
a typo.
yeah, you're looking at 35-something games. She's hitting over 500, leading the team with 13 home runs. Just having a monster season here in her sophomore year. It's a Florida team that has 71 home runs as a team for Tim Walton. The power numbers are astounding.
And you're getting it top to bottom, too. And thinking back to that Tennessee series, you're not just getting home runs from one batter in the lineup.
Down to first base to complete the strikeout goes the throw from Kennedy Miller. And 2 quick outs for Robin Herron here in the top of the first.
One way to equalize that home run power that you're going to see from Florida is to use that off speed, the depth that she has on that pitch. And it's not an accident when she's burying those changeups in the dirt. Sometimes that's exactly where they want them placed to make sure that the batter cannot put any barrel on that pitch.
Jocelyn Erickson will do the catching tonight for the Gators. Batting in the 3-hole, the OU transfer. Now in her 3rd season with the Gators. hard to believe it has been 3 years, but she comes into this game, Maddie, just a couple RBIs shy of 200 in just her Florida career. That's a called strike as our plate umpire tonight, Dustin Douglas.
Erickson's been really fun to watch throughout her entire career. A lot of it has to do with her pitch selection, too. I like that take. I think that's a really good pitcher's pitch in a 1-1 count.
Jab towards first, backhanded and taken to the bag. And that's an 11-pitch inning for Robin Herron, who sets the Gators down in order in the top of the first.
In one place.
Keegan Rothrock, pitcher for the University of Florida. In 2024, I was SEC Freshman of the Year and an All-American. I led Florida to 2 straight Women's College World Series appearances. Now, I'm looking to get the Gators back to Oklahoma City.
Well, Keegan Rothrock has been the workhorse for this Gators team in the circle here, Maddie. She's over 100 innings pitched. Nobody else on the staff has more than 28 innings pitched on the year.
And when you watch her pitch, too, you really don't ever see that velocity drop down at all. It's an effortless motion that she brings out there in the circle. Good velocity, too, mid to high 60s. She likes to get that swing and miss with that rise ball up at the top of the zone. She will mix in some other pitches to change that eye level with the drop ball, the curve ball, the off-speed pitch with the changeup in there as well, but really relies heavily on the spin and the location of that rise ball.
Reagan Johnson leads off for the Razorbacks, takes a first pitch strike. There's a look at the lineup for Courtney Deifel. And yes, maybe we see some Razorback history tonight. 260 career hits for Reagan Johnson, which is just one behind Hannah McEwen and her career mark of 261. A senior with a chance to make some history. She's just been an on-base machine in her time here.
I think what's really fun, too, about Reagan Johnson being so close to making history for Arkansas, being right behind Hannah McEwen, is that both of their offensive games are a bit different. Yes, of course, both of them coming from the left side, but Hannah McEwen hit 45 doubles in her career, had 25 home runs, where Reagan Johnson relies on that short game. You're going to see her soft slap, she'll bunt, she'll even power slap, but both of those athletes doing so much for their teams, for this program, and to see the growth of Arkansas even going back 10 years. It's really, really fun to see so many phenomenal athletes come through this program.
She's had 70 or more hits all 3 seasons coming into this year for the Razorbacks. And so far this year, she has 36 hits. So 70 is certainly not out of the question again for her. It's a Razorback team that went out of conference last weekend. A took on UConn last week, won all 3 games, and run rule win for a couple of them. You know, you look at the Razorback record. I mean, it's impressive. They're 28-4, but they've only played 6 conference games. They're 3-3 in the SEC. Contrast that with the Gators, who have played 9, and they didn't play really their first SEC series until they hosted Mizzou in what technically was week 2 for Mizzou and a lot of other teams in conference play.
And to say that Arkansas has a extremely difficult SEC schedule might be the understatement of the century. Coach
Brutal.
Courtney Deifel, and we got a chance to talk to her about that and about that schedule and how challenging it is going to be for them the rest of the season.
Well, in the SEC now, since Arkansas and Texas have joined, Arkansas and Texas, OU and Texas, your question is always, well, do you play OU and Texas? And for Arkansas this year, the answer is yes to both, and both on the road.
On the road.
On the road. Oh, my goodness.
I was going to say the luck of the draw doesn't feel like the right phrase for it, but that's what's coming to mind.
Look at the double-digit pitches here in this at-bat. And Reagan Johnson's just being Reagan Johnson up there right now.
Battling, and this is one of those at-bats, too, that whether or not she comes away with the hit, this is a productive at-bat in my mind. You're already making Keegan Rothrock throw 10 pitches here. Every single pitch, your teammates are learning something about Rothrock in the circle.
Chopped to second, one long hop. And the throw in time from Gabby Comia, but 10 pitches in that at-bat for Reagan Johnson to begin the first.
Looked like they were really just trying to get Reagan Johnson to hit that ball on the ground. Speaking of head coach Courtney Deifel, entering SEC play on a 17-game win streak, 18 shutouts, 19 run rule wins. The offensive production for this team has just been off of the charts, and one of those reasons is up to bat right now on the freshman in Brinley Bain.
She is certainly one of the players, and I know you're like me, Maddie, especially with freshmen that come into the SEC. You're like, I got to see him in person. This is my first time to see Brinley in person.
Me as well, first time seeing her in person. Really excited to watch her swing. There's a confidence in the way that she takes the ball, too. I find when I'm doing my scouting and I'm watching film, a lot of times I can learn a ton about a hitter from the way that they take pitches. You can tell that she is ready to swing at each one of these pitches that Rothrock is bringing in there. Just at the last minute, she's deciding that she doesn't want to swing at those. That tells me that she's got that yes, yes, yes mentality. Watch her momentum, that back leg, those hands are already whipping through the zone when she watches that pitch go by her.
Well, when we chatted with Coach Deifel about Brinley Bain, and when she said what I'm about to say, and I'm quoting Coach Deifel, I was not stunned but surprised. She said that Brinley Bain is maybe the hardest worker we've ever had in the program while I've been here.
Extremely high praise. She said she's just old school, just grinds in her workouts, just wants to be out there learning from her teammates, learning from her coaches, learning from DJ Gasso, just soaking up all of that information. And it's not easy to do, too, I find, especially when you look at freshmen going from playing in high school, playing in travel ball, and now you get to the collegiate level where there's so much technology, there's so many stats and spin rates and exit velocities that you might not be used to, so trying to filter that down to each individual player and what they might need in certain moments.
Well, she takes that 3-2 pitch down low, and Bain walks. Now, Bain is one of the top freshmen in the nation. In fact, number 2 in the nation in on-base percentage at .569 on the season.
Exactly why. That's not an easy pitch to lay off of. That last pitch right there was a changeup from Keegan Rothrock. And it looked like just at the last minute she decided that that pitch was going to be too low to let it go by. Works her way on base after getting to that 3-2 count.
And you use it, the analogy, as we always say in this culture, you know, she did it at the last minute, but in reality it was like the last 1/100th of a fraction of a second to make that decision.
Well, it's interesting that you say that, because when we were talking about the takes for her throughout that at-bat, one of the things that came to mind was the fact that you have to get your momentum going early, especially against pitchers that are throwing mid to high 60s, or if in the case of Carlin Pickens, consistently mid 70s. You have to get your rhythm and your load and your momentum going early just to be able to make contact with these pitches.
Ella McDowell taken down low. Ella, the third baseman, hitting over 400 on the year. Florida went down in order in the top of the first on 11 pitches. Razorback starter Robin Herron. Already 20 pitches. Now this will be number 21. Keegan Rothrock. That's popped out behind second base. Backing up, Camilla makes the catch. So Gabby has an assist and a put out for the first 2 outs to the bottom of the first.
Really good pitch there by Keegan Rothrock, too, especially up against Ella McDowell, who I feel like has a swing that's just tailor-made for pitches at the top part of the zone. So if you're going to throw that rise ball there, which we talked about is the bread and butter for Rothrock, you've got to make sure that you are locating those pitches on the edges of the strike zone.
Dakota Kennedy steps in and whacks one on a line to short, but right at Kinley Cahalan to retire the side. So the pitch count was getting up in the first for Rothrock, but the last couple of pitches, she gets a couple outs and ends the inning.
Dakota Kennedy showing off her power, but unfortunately for her, it is a line drive straight to Cahalan to end the inning. Well, we talked about the run production for Arkansas, but how about things on the other side of the field? The defense for Arkansas has been lights out all year long. They lead the SEC in double plays turned, and you can see exactly why with the way that their middles play, especially Italia Rijo. When we were going through making this defensive highlight, it pretty much turned into an Italia Rijo defensive highlight package for her, but you're seeing strong defense all the way across the field for Arkansas, and that's exactly what they need when they've got pitchers like Robin Herron in the circle so that she can just spin her pitches in there. She doesn't have to strike everybody out, but she can rely on the infielders, the outfielders, the catchers that she's throwing to make those big defensive plays to get her out of innings.
Now, Arkansas set a school record with 11 consecutive games without an error earlier this season.
They've only made 14 errors on the season so far. There's Italia Rijo over at shortstop. So smooth with the way that she gets reads on those ground balls. We saw her make a nice play in the first inning too, making the hard plays look very routine.
But you and I both build this as both these teams are great defensively. Both these teams have great power. Arguably, certainly Florida has the edge in the power department. It's pretty close on defense because Florida they come in with no errors in 7 straight games over the last 51 innings into this game. And the fielding percentages for both teams is about identical as Herron gets a strikeout at Grover to begin the top of the second.
Well, Arkansas has 14 errors on the season. Florida has 15 errors.
Yes.
So that just shows you how close these two teams are. And we know from talking to Tim Walton, not just this season, but really every single time I've had the chance to talk to Tim Walton since stepping into the booth, the emphasis that he puts on defense and the priority that he takes with the defense, making sure that his infielders and his outfielders are getting tons of reps out there so that they're prepared for everything.
You know, that's something that goes back quite a ways. I remember when Kenny Gajewski, of course, longtime Oklahoma State head coach now, was on the staff, and the drills that he and Tim ran defensively, oh man, this is probably 2010, 11, the first time I saw it. I was just blown away. It was incredible. Like, wow, now I know why this team's so good defensively.
You want to make the practices as hard as possible so that games feel easy, and you want to be able to practice. Maybe sometimes you might get that mid-hop when you're a middle infielder, or practice charging. Even their pitchers too. Their pitchers really prioritize taking solid defense and making the routine plays.
Cahalan sends it foul into the bullpen.
Cahalan's played third base and shortstop throughout her career, and I was talking to Coach Walton before today's game. I've just been so impressed with the way that Kenleigh Cahalan has been playing shortstop, just how smooth that she looks, how natural she looks over in that position, and that's not an easy thing to do.
Wave and a miss. A pitch down to the dirt, and the throw by Miller down to Tiana Bell completes the strikeout. And that's 3 Ks through 5 hitters for Robin Herron.
2 of those 3 strikeouts, too, have come on that changeup down in the dirt. So she's getting ahead in the count with the rise ball, getting the Florida Gators thinking about swinging at the high-velocity pitch and then dropping in that changeup down in the dirt.
Starts the DP, Madison Walker. Kansas City area native from Olathe, Kansas, Mizzou transfer. In fact, helped beat her old team with a walk-off hit against the Tigers a couple weekends ago when they swept Mizzou to start SEC play for Florida. Completely fooled Walker with that pitch.
There's that changeup again. And if they're going to keep swinging at it when it's down in the dirt, I would just keep throwing it there. I'd come back with another one of those changeups to see if you can get Madison Walker to swing at it again. Because by the way that they're swinging at these pitches, they are not picking it up out of the hand.
Well, there you go.
When it's working, you just keep on throwing it. How about that? 3 up, 3 down in the top of the second inning. All strikeouts for Robin Herron. So far, she's got 4 strikeouts on the day. 3 of those 4 strikeouts coming on this nasty changeup down in the dirt. That's how you set the tone if you're Robin Herron.
Exclusively on ESPN, 40-plus NCAA championships. Confetti rains. Nets are cut. Joy erupts. Hardware is hoisted. History happens here on ESPN, home of NCAA championships.
Back here in Fayetteville on this Friday. Ladies staying warm in the dugout.
That's one way to do it.
It's been is it a whipsaw? Is that what we would call it temperature-wise? Tiana Bell, first pitch swinging. You were talking about Cahalan's defense just a short time ago. She charges that, takes it on the short hop. Impressive play, out number one.
It's the reactions too, because this is one of those ground balls where maybe you could sit back and read it on the long hop, and instead she goes with her gut reaction, and this one is to charge it, run, and get it on the short hop. You can see her eyes following that ground ball all the way into her glove, throwing it on the run. So smooth over there at shortstop.
They played Stetson non-conference on Wednesday. I lose track of the days, but it was Wednesday. They won 3-2, and a huge play late in that game came from Cahalan at short, or Stetson might have come back and won that game.
It was a really close game, really nice played game by Stetson.
Wyckoff sends it in the air to left field. Cassidy McClellan squeezes that. That's two quick outs for Rothrock here in the bottom of the second.
Stetson went out early and put up 2 runs in the first inning, and so Florida had to fight their way back in that one. Ended up using, I believe, 4 pitchers for Florida, and I think that's where the defense becomes even more important when you're throwing different arms out there, especially maybe young arms or new arms to the program. To be able to have that solid defense behind you makes such a big difference.
First pitch hacking, and that's lined over the head of McClellan. Natalia Rio headed in for second. She's in standing up, and there's the first hit of the game. A double for Rio, her 9th two-base hit of the season.
Natalia Rijo heard us talking about her defensive play over at shortstop. She's like, you know what, I can do this too. Drives this one hard opposite field over the head of McClellan, who was playing in just a bit, anticipating that maybe she might drop something in front of left field. Instead, smokes that one on a line all the way out to the left field wall for a 2-out double.
Kennedy Miller, the catcher. Out of the Austin area, Georgetown, Texas. It's been interesting to watch. As we mentioned, the weather was about 90 degrees here yesterday, and now it's in the 50s. Spit and rain occasionally. Fortunately, it's dry right now, but the wind has been gusting out of the north-northeast, and at times 30 miles per hour. It was kind of blowing across the field when we got here a couple hours before game time. At one point, it was blowing straight in, and at times it stops, and then it restarts.
See, this is where I rely on you for the directionality of the wind, because my expert analysis on that is, yes, exactly, looking at the flag. Is the flag blowing towards me? Is it blowing towards right field, left field?
Yeah, direction's a moot point at that. Yeah. 2 balls, 2 strikes. 2-out double by Rijo. First hit of the game on either side. 2-2 pitch coming from Keegan Rothrock. Slowly back to the circle. Keegan handles it herself, and she works around that 2-out double by Rio. And we have finished 2 in Fayetteville. Top 10 matchups scoreless. Scoreless game as we head to the top of the third. We remind you that the NCAA Women's Basketball Championship Sweet 16 rolling on tonight over on ESPN at 10 Eastern. Third-seeded Duke takes on number 2 seed LSU. That's also available on the ESPN app. This tournament has been tremendous and just keeps rolling on. Well, the Hogs fans here. What was it, Jersey night? Tonight?
It was, Jersey giveaway night. It's a big weekend here in Fayetteville. Jersey giveaway night tonight. Then tomorrow it's a hat giveaway, and then Bark in the Park on Sunday.
The weather is promising to get back to more normal, warmer over the weekend. You can see those games on SEC Plus.
I still think one of my favorite parts of being here at Bogle Park is watching everybody flood to the berm as soon as the gates open. Need to track everybody's sprint speed to get to their spots. Maybe they have a lucky spot on the berm too. Well, I'm a little superstitious, so I would have one.
Well, no, of course you're superstitious with all the years you played the sport. But there's just so much berm space here. And that is strike 3. Robin Herron just keeps rolling on as she fans McClellan. That's 4 consecutive strikeouts and now 5 of the 7 she's retired.
Saw a smile on Robin Herron's face, a little bit of a smile out there. You know, the fans have a big smile on their faces watching her strike out all these Florida Gators. Went back with that rise ball to get McClellan looking.
First pitch hacking, Wesolowski! And what a play at second base. Carly Davidson diving to her left to rob a hit from Ella Wesolowski.
What a play by Carly Davidson. Reading this one, hit extremely hard off of the bat. Takes a couple of steps to her left, dives out there towards right field, and robs Wesolowski of a base hit.
Well, I know that's just the second out of the inning. But take a look at this again.
You know I get excited about home runs, but great defensive plays literally get me to jump out of my chair. I threw my hands up in the air on that play.
You did throw your hands in the air like you just didn't care, which was fine. But Davidson is going to lead off the next inning, so we'll see if she's able to record the final out here, too, to take care of the old axiom.
Sometimes, you can make those nice plays, and then that momentum carries over into the dugout when you go back on offense.
Well, here she goes. Bell couldn't come up with the throw, and down to second base on the run goes Camilla. She'll stop there. We'll take another look at this. From our angle, it looked like the throw was good.
Sometimes these plays can be tricky for the first baseman, too, because if you're Carly Davidson, you've got to put a little bit of zest on this throw to get it over there in time with the speed of Comia. So I'm wondering if maybe Tiana Bell just got caught a little off guard with how hard that throw came over to her, but it did look like it clipped her glove.
They haven't ruled on it as of yet. Now, it would have been in time to get the out, so there's going to be an error here at some spot, and it probably should be at first base. And if so, it would be Tiana Bell's first error of the year. Back to the top, and Townsend Thomas grounded to short to begin the game. Out of play. I have assessed an error on that.
I don't know about you, but I do think that in my unofficial scorebook, that would be an E3 from the angle that we saw of that throw.
I would agree. I think your description of what happened to Tiana that particular time, the ball just kind of got on her a little quicker than she was anticipating.
And as a second baseman, especially with the way that Davidson's moving in towards home plate, you have no other choice but to try to throw that one hard back to first base to even get close to making an out on that one.
Townsend Thomas was SEC Freshman of the Week last week in the SEC. Nice pick up there by Kennedy Miller behind the plate. That's rocketed to center field. Nice path taken by Reagan Johnson. Never turned her back, angled back, and caught that hard hit line drive. That's the hardest hit ball so far tonight by Florida, most likely.
Couple of nice adjustments by the Florida offense to put some balls in play, but it's the Arkansas defense coming through. Reagan Johnson with a nice read on this line drive, and we are still scoreless heading into the bottom of the third.
Welcome back to the SEC on ESPN as this scoreless game from Fayetteville. Rolling into the third, let's chat with the Gator head coach, Tim Walton. Hey, Coach, I wanted to go kind of big picture with you first, kind of setting up this big weekend here in Fayetteville. Tell me about your team against Tennessee last week, what you take into this week here out of taking 2 or 3 from the then #1 team.
Well, just the fact that in this league, especially against the elite pitching, we're going to have to figure out ways to generate more runs, facing another elite pitcher here today. So just trying to do everything we can in our bats, grind our bats out, have good information feedback from one hitter to the next, and just keep playing off each other, continue to communicate well on defense.
Coach, we saw some adjustments from your offense in that last inning, just unfortunately happened to go straight to Arkansas defenders. What did you see from the swings in that last inning?
Yeah, I don't think we really did anything different. Those 2 pitches were over the plate. The other pitches were all off the plate. We're swinging at pitches out of the zone. So when you swing at pitches out of the zone against elite pitching, you're not going to have great results. Both those contacts, the one by Eloise Zalowski and that last one by Townsend, the balls were up over the plate.
Always appreciate the insight. Thanks so much.
Thank you guys.
Coach.
Head coach Tim Walton. He is not going to sugarcoat it.
No,
It's like
well, and I think too, I like the simplicity of his answer too. You've got to force the pitchers to bring the ball in the strike zone. And for Robin Herron, to her credit, when they're swinging at changeups that are bouncing 2 feet in front of home plate, why would you throw it anywhere else? You just keep on throwing it there because it's hard to do damage on a pitch that's bouncing on its way to the catcher.
might be able to do damage in cricket on a pitch like that, but not in baseball or softball. Keegan Rothrock. They said the 9, 1, and 2 hitters here for the Razorbacks home half of the third. Carly Davidson, tremendous diving catch to her left at second base defensively in the top of this inning. Had off-season surgery, really missed all the fall. And according to Coach Deifel, just being an observer really helped her. Just being able to sit back and watch everything else and not have to worry about everything that goes into playing.
It's interesting how you can learn so much from that perspective, and you can learn so much about the game, and you can learn about what your teammates are working on, what are some things that they're trying to accomplish out there on the field. And at times when you're focusing on your teammates, it can take some pressure off of yourself as an individual. And so then when you go out there, you're taking all of that knowledge from maybe standing next to the coaches during scrimmages during the fall when you would normally be out there on the field, just soaking up information in different ways.
And she works the 5-pitch walk to begin the home half of the third. Second free pass issued by Rothrock. Well, our next National Women's Soccer League match is coming up Saturday at noon Eastern right here on ESPN2. It's the Boston Legacy. They will host the Utah Royals. from Gillette Stadium in Foxborough. It's also available on the ESPN app. Back to the top, Reagan Johnson. Got a 10-pitch at bat, her first plate appearance.
I'm curious how the infield's going to be playing with Reagan Johnson up to the plate now, runner over at first base. Typically with a lefty slapper, you're going to see the infield shift in where the first baseman is going to stay back. The left side of the infield plays up.
That is foul. No play at second base. Plate umpire Dustin Douglas right on it. Grover way in, obviously, as you saw, and that last little stab, she crossed the line and picked it up in foul
You can
territory.
see where they're playing, how the corners are both crashing on this one. Nice play by Kendall Grover. She tried to catch that one in fair territory, but it looks like it had just gotten over into foul territory.
Yeah,
and
if you're
right on
Grover,
cue, it looks like they're switching.
if you're Grover, that's the ball you want. Hit
Yep.
to you in fair territory. And that gets under the glove of the drawn-in Cahalan. And down to second base goes Davidson. Reagan Johnson is on. And with that base hit, she's just made a little history. She has tied Hannah McEwen with 261 career hits, tying the program record.
Right before that pitch, Florida had shifted their defense, so the left side of the infield was playing a little bit tighter towards that third baseline. You had Kenley Cahalan, who was playing more in the 5-6 hole, but that to me is another reason why Reagan Johnson has been so successful in her career. It's because of the way that she is able to read defense. As you could see how the right side of the infield was playing back now that she was in a 2-strike count, left side of the infield playing more into that 5-6 hole, and she just pulls that one just enough up the middle to tie Hannah McEwen for the all-time hits record here at Arkansas.
And the Razorbacks have the first two base runners on here in the bottom of the third. Brindley Bain, the DP, shortening up and taking ball one. Really good plate appearance for Brindley. First time up, worked a walk. And really made Keegan Reithrock work.
Keegan ended up throwing 22 pitches back in the bottom of the first. She saw a bit of everything from Rothrock too. A changeup, a rise ball, curve ball. And now she finds herself in a good hitter's count here, 2-0. And with that, kind of sensing where this momentum is going, pitching coach for the Florida Gators, Stephanie Van Brinkel Prothro, is going to come out and have a conversation with her battery. Got some movement over in that Florida bullpen as well.
Allison Sparkman
And Olivia Miller over there both getting loose.
and Miller, as you saw as well. Miller really has been a huge help for them.
She has a ton of appearances on the year. Has
She-
thrown a lot for them too.
She had a 7-inning scoreless relief appearance against Mizzou a few weekends ago, and that really seems to have propelled her now, where she's become one of the very dependable arms. Miller gets loose. The conversation concludes in a 2-0 count here on Bain, with a couple runners on and nobody out for the Razorbacks. Got under it, a high fly to right, coming towards the line. It's Shoemaker, crosses into foul ground, catch made, and she fires a strike on a hop or two to third base.
Looked like Bain was maybe just a little bit out in front on that swing on that rise ball. Nice pitch by Keegan Rothrock to get the first out of this inning and to keep both runners at first and second base. Looked like for a second Carly Davidson was kind of hanging off of second base for a minute, and then at the last minute decided to go back and tag. Smart move though to go ahead and stay there with that shallow fly ball out to right field.
Ball one to Ella McDowell. Ella popped out to the second baseman Kamiya, first time up. Ella's one of the hotter bats right now coming into this series for Arkansas. In her 6 SEC games coming in, hitting .526 with 3 homers. She has 7 consecutive games with a run scored.
She had a home run earlier this week against Central Arkansas, hit it out to left field. Another good hitters count here, 3-0 count.
All it takes is strikes. She had a great freshman year last year, was second team all SEC. But you've noticed that where her barrel starts this year, a little different.
A little bit of an adjustment too. When you see her step into the batter's box, you're going to see how flat her barrel is with her shoulder, almost parallel with where the ground is.
Hits it down the left field side, but it is hooking and goes foul. It had the distance to get out, but it hooks foul.
Feel like we have a great view in our booth of this line drive straight down the line. I thought it was going to stay in fair territory, but at the last minute, it takes that sharp left turn. She hit that one right on the money. She's so good at getting on top of those pitches in the upper part of the strike zone.
Tied her up that time. She's hit 10 home runs on the season. It's 7 a year ago in her freshman year. She was NFCA Top 25 Freshman of the Year finalist. And McDowell works the walk, and that's going to load the bases for Dakota Kennedy. And Kennedy has been hitting the long ball.
She has made such an impact for Arkansas since transferring over from Arizona, and a lot of it has to do with what she can do with her bat. She has so much power in her bat, especially driving the ball the opposite way. You saw her with a home run and a triple against UConn last weekend. No surprise there, Keegan Rothrock starting her off with a changeup to try to keep that power at bay.
Especially after the last pitch Kennedy saw in her first at bat. She had a hard line drive right at the shortstop Cahalan. Ten-game on-base streak coming in for Dakota. Just a little bit up. 2 balls and a strike.
Before the game, too, we got a chance to go down into the batting cages where Arkansas was taking batting practice. I could sit down there and watch these teams take BP all day long, but I was really impressed with the way that Kennedy was swinging the bat.
And what I know you really liked, and this is kind of hard to do in the cage, but you know what she's doing. She was going the other way.
It looked like it was intentional in the way that she was driving the ball to the left side of the field or the left side of the cage when she was in there working on that effortless swing opposite.
Fouls the 2-2.
And that's not an easy thing to do either. And you know, too, when you're a left-handed power hitter and you're facing a lot of right-handed pitchers, a lot of times they like to throw you on the outside part of the plate. They're going to try to see if they can get you to hit something off at the end of the bat. But to me, it almost feels like you're pitching into Dakota Kennedy's strengths.
And takes strike 3. Rothrock gets her looking. A mammoth strikeout. He gets the second out of the inning.
The confidence that Keegan Rothrock has in her pitches to be able to go outside. When we were just talking about this is where Dakota Kennedy wants the ball. She wants it about thigh high away. Keegan Rothrock throws that low rise outside to get her looking to now have 2 outs in this bottom of the 3rd inning.
This is the first strikeout of the game for Rothrock, and he comes in a huge spot for the Gators.
Especially after those first 2 runners got on board. A couple of walks in this inning, too, given up by Rothrock.
Here's Tiana Bell. Tiana with a ground out to short in her first at bat. See the season she is having, leading the team. Batting average, slugging percentage, total bases. Like Dakota Kennedy, Tiana Bell in her first season in the program as a senior. 3-1. Big deep breath by Bell. Big pitch coming here from Keegan Rothrock in this scoreless game in the third inning. Ground ball, found a hole, into left, 1 run in. Here comes the second. In safely is Reagan Johnson with her speed. Also bringing in Davison, and Bell with a 2-run base hit opens the scoring here at Fayetteville.
Something we talked to Coach Courtney Deifel and Coach Matt Michael about before this game is the production of this offense, the timeliness of their swings, figuring out a way to score runs when they get runners on base. And this is a prime example of how to do that. It's not the big grand slam, but it's Tiana Bell finding a hole on the left side of the infield, driving the ball out into left field, and letting her base runner score 2 runs to give Arkansas the lead.
As you alluded to, it was not hit all that hard. It just was between third and short and in the right spot to bring in 2, and especially when that trailing runner is Reagan Johnson. Wyckoff.
And I don't know about you, Mark, but it really felt like Florida was about to get out of this inning. You could just feel the momentum shift in Florida's direction after that strikeout looking of Dakota Kennedy. But for Tiana Bell, somebody who Coach Courtney Deifel says has a ton of confidence, so big for her to come through in that spot.
Yeah, you got that feeling that Keegan was about to get out of the mess. And to be fair, if that ball's 2 feet to the left, she does get out.
Agreed, yep.
That is upstairs in the count. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Kaylee flying to left first time up. 2 on, 2 outs, 2 runs in here. That's hit towards right. Took a false step in, but then Shoemaker had enough time to back up and make the catch to retire the side, but not before the 2-run single by Bell.
Reagan Johnson, after tying the Arkansas record in hits, ends up scoring another run on this play on this hit by Tiana Bell, and the Razorbacks have the lead.
Hey, we're knocking on the door of April. April leads to May, and of course, that leads to June in the Women's College World Series in Oklahoma City. It's not all that far away. Take a look at some of the key dates here for softball. You got the selection show on the 11th, regionals, supers, and then everybody assembles at Oklahoma City.
So many great memories that are made in Oklahoma City, especially that snapshot that we just saw there of some of the teams hoisting those trophies.
You went, what, back-to-back years in 12 and 13?
Back-to-back years, never got to hoist the trophy. We got close. Got close. It still is an incredible feeling to be on that field. I've been lucky enough to be there as a player, be there as a coach, and now be there covering on the media side of things, and to watch the sport grow. I've always said this, and I'll continue to say this: if you want a physical representation of the growth of softball, just look at that park and look at the World Series and see how it's grown year over year.
Yeah, just what it physically looked like. And the seats that have been added, the upper
Yeah.
deck and all that, everything's.
It looked a lot different when
Yeah.
I was playing there.
Shoemaker leading off here. Now Florida down 2-0. Ground ball right at Rio.
You're seeing these slight shifts, too, with where the defense is playing. Another nice play by Arkansas out there.
Well, coming up Saturday afternoon, we'll have game 2, 3-game series between third-ranked OU and number 20 LSU in Baton Rouge. Coverage begins noon Eastern over on the SEC Network and also on the ESPN app.
See, I think somebody in the control room knew that Oklahoma was the team that beat me when I was saying that we didn't get to hoist the
yeah.
trophy, and that was a well-timed promotion of this weekend's series between Oklahoma and LSU.
We have many vindictive people on the crew that want to remind you of that. OU gives a lot of people bad memories.
Yes.
these days.
Well, I would not want to be a pitcher having to face that Oklahoma offense this year. They're already up to, 129 home runs on the season?
Insane. That's fouled away by Erickson. Jocelyn rolled out right side first time up. Gator team looking for their first hit. Only had one base runner. That's when Comia reached on an error with 2 outs in the third. You know, it's no secret that the Arkansas starter, Robin Herron's been having some issues, a lower body issue with the right leg, which is her plant leg. And I don't even think Arkansas was really sure, say 6 hours ago, whether she was going to pitch tonight.
I tell you what, she looks extremely efficient out there. That's one thing that stands out to me about the way that she's been pitching so far today is you see so many 0-2 and 1-2 counts. She's getting ahead of these batters, whether Florida is swinging at them, whether they're taking them, but she's really using that curveball combination away to the left-handed batters to get ahead in the count.
Fools Erickson, the throw down to first from Kennedy Miller. It's a half dozen strikeouts for Herron here in the fourth.
When you get ahead in the count, it gives you as a pitcher the luxury of being able to bury some of those pitches down in the dirt or throw them outside of the zone to get those swings and misses. And when you look at Robin Herron throughout her career, when she gets strikeouts, they really do seem to come in bunches. I was thinking all the way back to last season when they were in Knoxville playing against Tennessee. Now that game ended up going into extra innings, but she had 16 strikeouts against the Lady Volunteers in one game last season.
That's a strike at the belt. The cleanup hitter, Kendall Grover, was one of those strikeout victims for the Gators tonight. Grover, who's a transfer from Eastern Illinois University. And she strikes out to retire the side and make it 7 Ks for Robin Herron. Has 4 very solid innings under her belt. When we come back, we'll chat with the Hogs head coach, Courtney Doctor.
Jess.
Arkansas has a 2-0 lead as we head to the bottom of the fourth. Let's chat with their head coach, Courtney Deifel. Let me begin with a little history that we saw in that 2-run inning. And she'll make more. Reagan Johnson tying for the hits record. What has she meant to your program?
Oh, gosh. I mean, how do I answer that in between inning? She's meant so much. And she's just been such a steady force for us for 4 years. It's rare now to stay 4 years, but she's been such a steady force for us in the outfield and at the top of the lineup. And she's just, she's so consistent. And I will never understate how important that is to be so consistent as a leader, as a player, as what you can expect every day. She's exceptional in everything that she does, and she's deserved that. So it's really cool to see her get that honor.
Well, Coach, we have to ask you about Robin Herron. We just saw you guys have a great conversation outside of the dugout, but I feel like she's been so efficient. What have you seen from her performance today, and a performance in which she was day-to-day coming into this weekend?
Well, the key word is the efficiency that you said at the beginning. I think it's nice when she's been day-to-day, and we're kind of like, let's see what she can give us. Obviously, she looks really good, but she's been super efficient, and her pitch count's low, and so that's great for me to see. So hopefully, she looks like she's feeling good. She looks strong. She's spinning it. She's trusting her stuff, and she looks really good out there.
We always enjoy our conversations. Thanks so much, Coach.
Thank you.
Thank you, Coach.
Head Coach Courtney Deifel. I love how the question I asked her, the subtext was her really saying, "Oh, Mark Neely, how do I answer that in a short time?"
Said,
but saying it in a really nice way.
Yes, yeah. She's basically saying you did not give me near enough time to adequately answer that question. You could just tell by the way that she responded to. She could go on and would go on all day long about Reagan Johnson if we had the time.
Coach Deifel's offense back at the plate with a 2-0 lead. Last of the fourth. This is game one. 3-game series between these two top 10 teams. As you see up on the bug, Gators ranked 5th, Razorbacks ranked 9th. Rio, who got things rolling, had a double her first time up, even though she had the double with 2 outs and they didn't score in that inning. That really triggered things the next inning in the third when they scored twice. It's bounced towards the middle, softly but through. And Natalia Rios off to a 2-for-2 start.
Left side of the infield shifted over a bit towards the left side again, and what that does is it allows Natalia Rijo to drive this ground ball straight back up the middle. If Kenley Cahalan's playing a bit more straight up there, she might be able to get to that ground ball, but because she was shaded in the 5-6 hole, gives Natalia Rijo enough room for another base hit in this ball game.
Catcher Kennedy Miller shortens the bunt and bunts a foul. Kennedy tonight hit one back to the circle the first time up. Miller does not have a sac bunt yet on the year. They have 4 as a team, 3 of those from Reagan Johnson. And guess what? She's going to get her first.
Go ahead and add to the stat book. Perfectly executed sacrifice bunt. Moves Rijo over into scoring position. She squared early, got it down in fair territory. I thought for a second the way that Kendall Grover had charged it that she was going to think about throwing over to second base, but instead goes ahead and gets the sure out over at first.
Here's Carly Davidson batting in the 9 spot for Arkansas. She led off that 2-run third inning with a walk. Just when it looked like Keegan Rothrock and Florida's going to get out of the inning with 2 outs, Tiana Bell dribbled one into left and scored 2. That's up into that breeze. And comes down in the mid of Gabby Comilla with a second out.
Surprised a little by the early swing from Carly Davidson there after she got herself ahead in the count, 1-0, decides to go after the very next pitch. One of the things that we have seen from Keegan Rothrock is she's been falling behind in the count. We've seen a lot of 2-0 counts, 3-0 counts, 3-1 counts, and a couple of those walks back in the third came around to score.
Yeah, over 70 pitches now for Rothrock as the top of the order back up. Reagan Johnson 1 for 2, base hit last time up, hit number 260 in her Arkansas career, which is tied her with Hannah McEwen. The school record in career hits with 261. at second now with 2 outs. Breeze starts to pick back up.
Another 3-0 count here for Rothrock going up against Reagan Johnson. Would not be surprised if Johnson is just taken all the way on this pitch.
She looks that way and takes a strike. Towards short, nicely scooped. Kinley Cahalan again, and that ends the inning. It takes care of the Razorbacks, and at the end of 4, 2-0 Hogs.
Today.
All the scoring in this game came in the bottom of the 3rd inning with the Razorbacks up to the plate. It's hit number 261 for Reagan Johnson, driving that one back up the middle. Ella McDowell ends up walking there, and the Razorbacks feeling it. With 2 outs, Tiana Bell comes through with the base hit through the left side to allow not 1 but 2 runs to come across and score on that 2-out single out to left field.
So 2-0 Razorbacks, top of the 5th. If you're the Gators, though, here, Madison, I mean, one little dribbler hit brought in 2 runs, and you're only down 2-0, even though offensively you've had only 1 base runner, and that came on an error.
And I think we could say, too, that Keegan Rothrock hasn't necessarily pitched her sharpest game out there in the circle either. Like we talked about, a lot of 2-0 counts, a lot of 3-0 counts with her out there. And if you're facing Robin Herron in the circle and on the opposite side of things being so efficient, if you're Tim Walton, I feel like you almost have to tell your team to still be aggressive early, but focus on what you want to go up there and hit. Do not let Robin Herron dictate your at-bat.
Now where Cahalan was looking on 2-0, takes a strike. Kinley, one of the 7 strikeout victims so far tonight from Arkansas starter Robin Herron. One base runner the Gators have had with 2 outs in the 3rd. Camilla had a grounder to second. Davison made a good play. The throw eluded Bell, though, for an error. It's been their only base runners. That 3-1 pitch fouled off and runs at full. Defense has been steady, if not great, all year for Cahalan. Got off to a really good start offensively. Comes into this series just 5 for her last 36.
You can see where Robin Herron's been throwing her in this at-bat, too. A lot of those curveballs away to Kinley Cahalan, who's somebody that really wants to pull the ball to the right side. And that, to the hot start that she had at the beginning of the year, I felt like she did a really good job of adjusting to that, still being able to drive the ball the opposite direction.
That's lined to the alley in right center, but able to get over and make the catch is Kaylee Wyckoff. Hit well by Cahalan, but the first down. Well, our next National Women's Soccer League match coming up tomorrow, noon Eastern, right here on ESPN2, as the Boston Legacy hosts the Utah Royals from Gillette Stadium in Foxborough. You can also catch that on the ESPN app. Off-speed pitch has been a big weapon tonight for Herod, and that has strike one on Madison Walker. I love how Herod is, you know, if you're going to swing at it or look, I'm just going to keep throwing that.
Yeah. I was just about to say I would not be surprised if we saw 3 straight changeups, and honestly I wouldn't be surprised if she throws another one here even after missing the one before down in the dirt.
High chop, tough hop. McDowell got an in-between hop there. We'll see how they score that. That was not in my book, Maddie, and you're a little better than me here. Is this a hit or a?
Definitely not a routine play, this high chop. Let's see where she was playing too.
Looked like it kind of spun back that last bounce too. Where you at?
It almost kicked back towards that third baseline. I'd have to look at the timing of it. There's a part of me that says that's an error over at third base.
Well, it's been scored a hit, and that's interesting because that's their first hit of the game.
I think if you were to ask Ella McDowell if she should make that play, I think she would tell you yes. But to your point, it's one of those that could have gone either way. And I think that because McDowell was playing a little bit deeper, that's probably why that it was awarded the hit.
And the other layer to this is, I mean, we're in Fayetteville. The official score is here. And Herod had a no-hitter before that. And that official scoring ruling changes that. And we're in the 5th inning. A lot of times you'll get what you know, kind of home cooking, and oh yeah, let's just call that an error and keep the no-hitter alive. But they didn't do that.
No, it's a tough one too,
Yeah.
And I think that I typically err on, you know, pun intended, err on having a bit more of a harsher scorebook when it comes to the defensive side of things.
Well, Herod comes right back, gets the strikeout, and then Miller forgot how many outs there were. And just rolled the ball back to the circle, and Herod's like, I'm going to get that.
Yeah, she did get a smile out of Robin Heron on that one. She had her back. Really nice changeup again. Kennedy Miller flips the ball up, thinking that it is out number 3, and very smart by Robin Heron to go ahead and pick that one up and make sure that Madison Walker does not advance. It's all good as long as nobody advances a base and we can laugh about it, right?
No damage done.
Yeah.
Just a little quick comedic episode. Ella Wesolowski with the ball well, but lined out to right at her first at bat off of Robin Heron. But to put a bow on, I'm with you. I think you very easily can call that an error.
Yeah, I think it could go either way. I was just thinking, if I were a pitcher in that situation, would I rather give up a hit on the infield hit or somebody taking the ball out of the ballpark? Like, which one would hurt more?
Well, that's going to make it a moot point, and that ball's going to go, well, won't get to the fence. It's knocked down. Kennedy goes to get it and gets it in. Walker to third, and down to second base goes Wesolowski. That's a clean hit all the way. And 2 bases for Wesolowski.
Wesolowski's hit the ball hard, both of her at-bats. The first one was that hard line drive over to second base. This time she hits it the opposite way down the left field line, and it looks like Dakota Kennedy actually slipped a bit when she went to turn back to get that ball out in left field. She does a great job of still being able to get to that ball quick enough to not allow any runners to score. But remember, it was raining a bit earlier today, so maybe that grass has a little bit of moisture on it. Something to keep an eye on with any other balls that make their way out to the outfield.
I think Tim Walton's won a pinch runner here, or hitter. Which is it? It's going to be a pinch hitter for Camilla. Julie Desiderio has come out of the dugout for the Gators to hit for Camilla. So here's Desiderio, and that's going to bring Courtney Deifel out of the dugout for the Razorbacks.
I wonder if this pinch hitter, too, with Desiderio coming in has a bit to do with not wanting that lefty-lefty matchup. Gabby Comilla coming from the left side, so you bring in the righty to go up against Robin Herron. And there's some action in that Arkansas bullpen as well. Peyton Burnham getting loose down the left field line as Coach Courtney Deifel comes out to have a quick chat with Robin Herron.
So Desiderio, Julia Desiderio, transfer, spent the last 3 seasons at South Carolina. Batting for Camilla in the 9th spot with the tying runs on base. And 2 outs here in the Gator 5th inning. She won't bite on the first one down. Senior from Hudson, Florida in the Bay Area. Two balls and no strikes. Coming up on 70 pitches here for Herron. A 1-out error, a 2-out double, second and third with 2 outs. And ball 3 to Desiderio. Wow, a 4-pitch walk. First walk of the game issued by Herron, and that loads the bases.
And by the way that Desiderio stays in the batter's box here, I think she was wondering if this one was going to be called for a strike. This is a curveball coming out of the hand of Robin Herron, and it looks like where Kennedy Miller catches that ball, that it looks like it's on the inside part of the plate. But either way, it ends up being called for a ball, and we've got another 2-out bases loaded situation in this ball game.
Camilla immediately comes right back in to run here, so she's reinserted. So the bases are loaded for the top of the Gators order, and Townsend Thomas was grounded to short and fly to center. A foul tip. A piece of Miller, it looked like as well. Strike 1.
Coach Tim Walton shared a really cool story with us about Townsend Thomas going back to that Kentucky series where she's a left-handed batter, so she has the ability to slap and to hit away. And in one at-bat, he wanted her to hit away. And the first pitch of the at-bat, she went through and slapped. Well, the next pitch, she ends up blasting it off of the wall, standing in there and hitting away. And talking to her after that, that was all part of the strategy in trying to deceive the infielders and the outfielders. She wanted to bring the infielders and the outfielders in because she knew she was going to stand in there and swing away on the next pitch.
Softly hit towards the right side. Safe at first. And terrific base running there by Camilla, and that may have just caused enough confusion for Davidson where she didn't field it cleanly and throws late to first.
This one gets off of the end of the bat of Townsend, and she goes to charge it. Davidson does, and I think you're right. I think by the way that Camilla just kind of jumped over this ground ball, maybe messed with the timing just a little bit for Davidson, so she ends up getting that ground ball on the mid-hop rather than the short hop or the long hop.
So it scores Walker to make it a 2-1 game. That is ruled an error. Second error of the game charged to the Razorbacks. Now you got the tying run at third. Go ahead run at second. The base is loaded for Shoemaker. A dangerous spot here for Herron and the Razorbacks. I don't think there's anybody else you want at the plate right now for Florida in this situation than who they have up there right now in Taylor Shoemaker. He's a left-on-left matchup, but here's a 1-1 pitch. Shoemaker is struck out and grounded to short. Florida on the board here in the 5th with 1 and looking for more. Now Shoemaker ahead in the count, 3 balls and a strike.
Tough spot if you're Robin Herron, because you want to bring a strike in there with the bases loaded, but also, to your point, Mark, you know exactly who you're facing in the batter's box, and if you miss with Taylor Shoemaker, she is going to make you pay.
Up the middle, stepping, actually leaning. Rio with the glove on the base from her knees gets the force out at second to end the inning.
We were talking about the solid defense for Arkansas, but a miscue over at second base ends up leading to a run for the Florida Gators.
Welcome back to the SEC on ESPN. Game 1 of this 3-game series from Fayetteville, 1-run game. And a reminder that the NCAA Women's Basketball Championship Sweet 16 rolling on tonight over on ESPN at 10 Eastern. Catch 3rd-seeded Duke taking on the 2-seed LSU. It's also available on the ESPN app. All right, a 2-1 game. The Razorbacks bat the heart of the order here, 2, 3, and 4. It's Keegan Rothrock, and it's DP Brindley Bain leading off. He's walked and flied to the right fielder Shoemaker in foul territory. Arkansas 2 in the 3rd. Florida 1 unearned run at the top of this 5th. Brindley Bain from Eagleville, Tennessee, which is a small town south of Nashville. Considered by most a top 10 national recruit. Two-sport player in high school, also played basketball. Averaged 18 points a game as a senior.
Oh, that's pretty good.
Full count.
Nice off-speed pitch there by Keegan Rothrock, keeping those pitches on the outside part of the plate. Tight spin even on that one too, where out of the hand it looks like it might be one of those rise balls that comes in mid-60s, but instead it just kind of floats in there for strike number 2.
And she works another walk, her 2nd of the night, and this one is a leadoff walk in the Razorback 5th inning.
The last time the Razorbacks had a leadoff walk was back in the bottom of the 3rd inning, and they ended up scoring 2 runs in that inning. You know that Arkansas is looking to do the same here. Now that Florida just put a run on the top of the 5th inning, this offense wants to respond immediately to see if they can tack on some more, because you do get the feeling that no lead is safe in this ball game.
Ball fouled back by McDowell. No balls, 2 strikes. Deep breath for McDowell.
I think she was hyping herself up there a little bit too, getting into the batter's box.
Sometimes I guess you got to do that,
Hey, everybody's got their process.
especially when it's 0-2. Chop to third, reaching up. That's snagged and snow cone by Grover. Out at second to first, safe. Gators nearly turned their 11th double play of the season there. They do get the lead runner Bain at second.
McDowell gets on top of this rise ball, hard chopper, high chopper over to Kendall Grover, who moves to her left, makes a sharp throw over to second base.
Florida is challenging the safe call at first base. This play is under review.
Watching that one live, I thought that Ella McDowell was safe at first base. It was close, but I thought she was safe. But it looks like Florida wants to go ahead and have another look at that play. A good turn by Gabby Comey over at second base, too. Hard to tell from that angle when Madison Walker gets that ball. Yeah, see, the glove doesn't start closing around the ball, in my opinion, until after Ella McDowell touches that safety base.
Which, you make a good point. It's got to be in the back of the mitt.
Yes, yes.
And with what we saw there, I don't think there's anything to overturn this, do you?
I agree with you. I have been wrong before, but I
man,
think that this
right
one
there
is
with
going
you.
to stay safe at first base. Oh, great look there by our camera crew. To me, that clearly defines that she's safe.
You know, if you're Florida, though, it's getting late in
After
the game.
review, the call on the field is confirmed.
Yep.
The runner is safe. Florida has 1 challenge remaining.
So they rolled the dice. They still got 1 left.
Yeah, I will say that one, watching it in video, was a lot closer than I thought it was going to be when I saw it in real time. I thought she had beat it out by a half a step, but I was wrong. She beat it out by about a half of an inch.
Yes.
So
It was bang, bang. So McDowell, her hustle, keeping them out of the double play. She's at first with 1 out for Dakota Kennedy. Made a loud out her first time up. With a liner to shortstop. Called out on strikes last time. Squares and takes a ball, and it's 2-0.
that's something else, too, that's a part of her game, is she does a really good job of laying down bunts and surprising defenses because she has so much power coming from the left side. If you're playing third base, she is not the batter that you would want to be playing in on, but you almost have to be in a couple of steps to respect the fact that she can drop a bunt at any time. So Kendall Grover really has to be on her toes down that third base line.
It's outside to Kennedy. If she were to make all SEC first team this year, which is certainly a possibility, it would be the 3rd different conference that she's been all first team. Now, she was with Arizona, arguably, when they were in the pack, and then in the Big 12, and she was first team
That's
in
impressive.
both those conferences. So if she does it this year, in her senior year, that would be 3 times first year. Oh,
That's
it's
impressive.
just funny to say.
There are
Yeah.
certain awards that stand out as just really impressive. All awards are impressive in my mind, but when you're able to do what somebody like Dakota Kennedy can do in different conferences, that's what stands out.
Tap towards third. Grover can't get it. The shortstop Cahalan does, but a late throw down to second. McDowell got the break that she wanted with the contact on the ground, and it's 2 on with 1 out.
A little bit of a slow developing ground ball over there on the left side. Kennedy gets this one off of the end of the bat, and I think that Kendall Grover just misplayed that one a bit. Now, good defense by Kenley Cahalan to have the backup on that ground ball, but that ball almost looked like it went right underneath the glove of Kendall Grover. It looked like she got there in time, just didn't get the ball.
So scored an infield hit, I believe, there. So it is indeed seems to be the case. Well, takes inside, and Rothrock falls behind her. 2 balls, no strikes.
I'm wondering if they're calling it a hit, maybe because they didn't think that it hit her glove over at third base. Did it hit her glove at third? It was hard to tell from that view, but it looked like to me that her glove and where her feet were got to that ground ball in time. She just wasn't able to make that play.
Stephanie Van Brakel, pro throw, the pitching coach. Florida out to the circle once again.
Tiana Bell came through in a 2-out bases loaded situation earlier in this game. Ended up scoring 2 runs on this ground ball out to left field, capitalizing on the fact that Reagan Johnson was over there at second base. So much speed, got a great jump, and the Razorbacks would love to see the transfer come through in another big spot in this game.
A 2-run base hit for Bell in the third has given her a 5-game hitting streak, during which she is now 11 for her last 17. Sparkman up in the bullpen. Saw Olivia Miller, a lefty, up earlier for the Gators. 2-0 count on Tiana Bell.
I think she was trying to send that one all the way out to our rental car out there in the parking lot beyond left field. That was a big 2-0 hack.
She seemed determined to swing. 2-0. Hits that on the ground and threw the hole into left field. Up with it quickly. Throw from McClellan dribbles in, but did its job, and the bases are loaded. Base hit for Bell, her second of the game.
And she definitely got a good piece of that one, and because she hit it so hard through the left side of the infield, it didn't allow McDowell to score from second base. So they hold her up, and bases loaded now with just 1 away for the Razorbacks.
Well, we mentioned Miller had been warming up, and she's going to be the one that comes out of the dugout pre-warmed on a chilly night and is ready to go. So it's a Gator pitching change, and Miller, the lefty, will come in and inherit bases loaded, 1 out in a 1-run game in Fayetteville. Almost 100 pitches for Rothrock lifted here in the 5th. And as you mentioned earlier, Maddie, maybe didn't have her best stuff, but he's left the game at this point with her team in a position to come back.
Yeah, I would say that she didn't give up a ton of hard contact, but really it was the walks and falling behind on batters where Arkansas was able to capitalize and put some runs on, and now find themselves in this good spot. Bases loaded, 1 away. So Coach Tim Walton brings in Olivia Miller, the lefty, to face the lefty Wyckoff.
Ground ball to short. Runner coming for the plate. That force out there to first, not in time. So Cahalan up with it quickly. And wait, we have an illegal pitch call from the third base umpire, I believe.
Now it looks like it was an illegal pitch called over at third base. So I'm wondering if this has to do with her front foot. If her front foot is sliding too far forward when she goes to release it. You'll see a lot of pitchers, they'll kind of utilize that mound. They'll be able to kind of move their foot forward. But if your foot slides too far forward to where no part of your foot is over the rubber, then that's where that illegal pitch is going to be called. What a break for Arkansas.
No question. So put everybody back where they were prior to that pitch, which means bases loaded, still just 1 out in a 2-1 game. See the numbers on Miller, who was not allowed an earned run in her last 15 innings. Pitch, that's hit deep left and back to make the catch over the shoulder is McClellan. Tagging from third and scoring is McDowell. Arkansas has their 2-run lead back, but off the bat, that looked like it might work out in a lot worse fashion for Florida than it did. Really nice play in left field by McClellan.
And she had to go back a couple of steps. This one was hit pretty hard off of the bat of Kaylee Wyckoff, who's hit the ball hard now in her last 2 at-bats. This time she drives it down the left field line. Great play by McClellan over her head. Then Ella McDowell ends up tacking up to score on that sac fly out to left field.
26th RBI for Wyckoff to make it 3-1. So now a first and second, 2 outs. 3-0 already has a couple hits. There are your base runners, Kennedy and Bell. Talia double to left in the second, single to center in the fourth. Tried to hold up but could not. Rio, who really developed her offensive game last year in her junior year. Didn't play a lot her sophomore year due to injury. She had a shoulder injury. Got a medical red shirt. Hit just over 200 as a freshman, but last year she ballooned offensively and has continued that this year.
One of the stats that stood out to me looking at her freshman year to her junior year was the decrease in the amount of strikeouts that she had. Freshman year, she ended up with 33 strikeouts on the season. Last season, just 19 strikeouts. That's a huge drop in numbers.
3-2 pitch, and she fouls it off. She had a 3-hit game against Central Arkansas on Tuesday with 3 RBIs, and she's looking for her 3rd hit of this game here on Friday night. Couple runners on with 2 outs and a full count. Another pitch from Olivia Miller. Another foul. Razorbacks have won 8 of their last 10 games against Florida when you go back the last few years. Ball 4 inside. That's going to reload the bases. Rio on base for a 3rd time.
Pretty close pitch on the inside part of the plate, especially with the lefty Miller throwing those curveballs in there. She'll throw them to both sides of the plate. I think Jocelyn Erickson back behind the plate thought that she was going to get the call on that, but instead it's called for ball 4. And I think we might see another pitching change for Coach Tim Walton.
We are indeed. So Sparkman is going to come in. So Miller faces just the 2 hitters. And Sparkman will be the 3rd pitcher of the inning for the Gators. We'll tell you more about her when we return to Fayetteville. Third pitcher of the inning for the Gators is the Florida Gulf Coast transfer, Allison Sparkman.
We hear a lot of times talking to coaches about playing the matchups too. I really think that this pitching change has a lot to do with bringing in a righty to go up against the righty batter after having the lefty Olivia Miller in there to face a couple of left-handed batters in a row. When you look at the numbers for Olivia Miller, the batting average against jumps up about 100 points when she's facing left-handed batters versus right-handed batters. And in this situation, Florida's just in a spot where they cannot afford to give up any more runs to this Arkansas team.
Kennedy hits it up the middle, and that's through for a base hit. That's going to score one. The second run comes in. Bell touches the plate. Two-run base hit for Kennedy Miller, her 18th and 19th RBIs, and it's 5-1.
We're seeing a lot of quick adjustments from this Arkansas offense. Sparkman coming into the game. She's going to keep the ball low in the zone, and Kennedy Miller goes after this pitch, drives the ground ball straight back up the middle, and scores Dakota Kennedy and Tiana Bell to enhance this Arkansas Razorbacks lead. And again, it's an inning in which it started off with a leadoff walk. Those leadoff walks always have a tendency to come back to bite you, and now it's happened in two separate innings in this game for Florida, and both of those innings have resulted in runs for the Razorbacks.
I believe if I were to rerun this inning, as soon as the leadoff batter, Bain, walked, you mentioned that the only previous time that they had a leadoff walk was a couple innings earlier when they also scored. Carly Davidson walked, leading off the third, and would eventually score one of those two runs in the inning. Now she hits a hot shot past the shortstop Cahalan and into left field, fired in by McClellan, and it does keep Rio from trying to score, but it reloads the bases again for the Hawks.
Another really good piece of hitting. This pitch is down below the knees of Carly Davidson, and yet she goes after it. It's all about the adjustments too when you have so many different pitchers that you're facing in a short amount of time. You go from a pitcher that works heavy rise ball up in the zone like Keegan Rothrock to a lefty that's got a curveball she's going to work to both sides. And then you bring in somebody like Sparkman that's got a drop ball. All of those different pitches require different types of swings, and you've seen Arkansas execute that all in this inning.
And it turns the lineup over. The ninth batter to come up in the inning for Arkansas is Reagan Johnson. He's 1 for 3 tonight with a single and a run scored in the third. She's sitting on 261 career hits as a Razorback, which has her tied with Hannah McEwen for the most hits in Hogs history. She did go around. Interesting to watch the defense for Florida because they make adjustments on the fly and from pitch to pitch.
Well, and you have to move your feet with somebody like Reagan Johnson, especially with the middle infielders. You're moving your feet as she's moving her feet, so you want to try to match the motion with the motion of the batter to try to get on time to field these ground balls, because with her speed, you cannot make a mistake.
Johnson into right field, base hit, 1 run in, and Reagan Johnson has just become the career hits leader for Arkansas softball.
What a special moment for Reagan Johnson, and how much she has meant to this Arkansas program, not just with the hits that she's been able to accumulate, but what she brings every single day. And she made her mark in history for the Razorbacks.
Quite the accomplishment. Congratulations, Reagan Johnson. Anytime you are the career hits leader for a program, it's a big deal.
I know, I was thinking maybe somebody should go out there and get that ball for Reagan Johnson. I was watching for that.
It's an excellent point. Nobody did that?
I don't think so. I believe
So
the same ball is being
it's the
thrown
ball that's in
out
play?
there. Yeah. At least I didn't see a ball go to the dugouts.
Well, if there's any ball that needs to be saved, that would be it, wouldn't it?
Yes. I hope Reagan knows I'm calling for that ball to be saved for her.
Well,
There it
cute
is.
foul.
Keep it over there.
Oh, I had a
Oh,
chance.
maybe.
They handed it back. Oh, and the umpire just changed balls.
There it is. Keep
Oh,
that one. There it
finally,
is.
yes.
There it
There
is.
they
There
go.
it is. Keep that ball. It's making its way down in the dugout.
The
for
coaches
safekeeping.
asked for that ball. They were thinking along with you there.
Yes, yes.
Like that. That's a historic ball. Back to the circle and out at any base, and the out is taken by Sparkman at first, but not before a big inning for the Razorbacks as they add 4, and history made as Reagan Johnson becomes their all-time hits leader.
Tegan Gabon served to deep left field. That one is gone. Sends one deep. Back it goes.
How about this? You got tomorrow, A&M, Texas, then 2 games on Sunday featuring OU, LSU, A&M, Texas once again. Lots of great softball in this SEC weekend.
To no one's surprise, the start of that Texas A&M Texas series is already sporty. It's 7-6, Texas A&M with the lead in the bottom of the 4th inning. Seems like home runs and doubles just flying all over the ballpark.
A fun weekend in Austin. I can't help but think about the Super Regional a couple of years ago between those
with
teams.
Maya Perez,
With
too.
Maya, yeah. Where we all learned about Maya.
Yes, and she's been hitting home runs ever since.
Yeah.
Another interesting score right now, Oklahoma is losing to LSU. LSU has the lead 1-0 in the bottom of the 6th inning. Jayla Lassiter with a home run in that ball game, the only run of that game.
LSU ranked 20th. Two balls, 2 strikes. Erickson leading off here. The Gators 6th inning with him now down by 5. Heron sees the count go full on Jocelyn. And that is ball 4. Well, ESPN is now the home of MLB.TV. You can stream every out-of-market game live or on demand using the ESPN app. Blackout and other restrictions apply. If you'd like more information, hop online to ESPN.com/MLBTV. to the cleanup hitter, Kendall Grover.
A leadoff walk to start things off for Florida in this top of the 6th inning. We know what that has meant for the Arkansas Razorbacks offense in this ballgame. We'll see if Florida can respond with a couple of runs of their own after that leadoff walk.
It's a pretty big hill to climb here in the bottom of the 6th, but to do so, if you're the Gators, if you can knock off a multi-run inning here, certainly makes you feel a little bit better. Get within striking distance.
Well, and for the Gators, it's the first leadoff base runner they've had all game, too.
Grover has struck out twice tonight against Heron.
A couple of strikeouts both on those rise balls in the top part of the zone.
There's a strike call. I mentioned what LSU's 20. Got 10 teams in the top 20 that are out of the SEC.
We do say every weekend in the SEC feels like it's a super regional weekend.
Including 4 of the top 5. A little bit of a late break, but in time to get down to second base with a feet first slide. Erickson advances the 60 feet.
Heads up base running by Erickson, especially with the way that Heron's been burying those changeups down in the dirt all game long. This one just hits off of the chest protector of Kennedy Miller back behind the plate, scoots over towards the third base dugout.
The 2 top 10 teams here. Florida 5, Arkansas 9. These 2 teams shared the SEC regular season title back in 2021. You know, for years between 2018 and 2019, it was Florida and Bama that traded off. Florida won 7 of the 12 in that 12-year span, 5 of those for Bama. And then it was these 2 teams for a couple of years right after COVID. Arkansas, as I mentioned, shared with Florida in 21, and then they won it outright in 22.
Think about some big pitchers, some clutch pitchers for Arkansas during those years. Mary Half is somebody who comes to mind. Autumn Storms, too, comes to mind as well.
And a walk. First 2 are on here, back-to-back walks. Let's look at the SEC standings. You got OU and Texas right now leading the Gators, even though the Gators have 3 games in hand going into this weekend, but Texas and OU unbeaten in conference. You know, we mentioned that Courtney Deifel's team plays at Texas and at OU later in conference play. Florida doesn't play those 2 teams at all in the regular season.
After this weekend, they play Mississippi State, South Carolina, Auburn, and Georgia to round out their SEC schedule. One thing that I remember thinking at the beginning of this year, even just looking back to where teams finished last season, is how many losses is the team that finishes in first place ultimately going to have? Because I would be very surprised if somebody goes undefeated through SEC play. When you look back even,
that would be a stunner.
10, 11, 12 years ago, typically you would say that the leader in the SEC over the course of the regular season would have maybe 2 losses, 3 losses. Last year, I believe Tennessee ended up with 7 losses on the season and still ended up the regular season title.
So that's the Arkansas SEC schedule. They won that series against Georgia. They dropped 2 of 3 to Bama. Now they have Florida. You see what's ahead. They get to host Auburn next week. That Sunday and Monday game will be on SEC Network next week between those teams. It's a Saturday to Monday series. Well, first 2 on here. Cahalan is up. Well, if a leadoff walk is bad, what about back-to-back walks to start an inning? Cahalan 0 for 2 with a strikeout, lined out sharply to right last time up. Hits another one to right field. That's going to get down for a base hit in front of Wyckoff and bring in a run. And here come the Gators. It's 6-2. Not
Big
a carbon
smile.
copy of that last at bat, but another ball to right.
It's a big smile on Kenley Kalen's face, too. You know, that had to feel good with that ball dropping out there in right field. Keeping her weight back just long enough, gets this one off at the end of the bat, drops it out into right field. You can see that toe tap coming back, trying to set up her timing. That's a change that she's made with her swing from last year to this year. Drives in another run and a big standing ovation for Robin Herron as she walks off of the field, and it looks like we're going to get a pitching change for the Arkansas Razorbacks.
That indeed is going to be the case. Robin Herron heads to the Razorback dugout. We'll tell you about the new Hogs hurler when we return. Herron really strong to start this game, especially through the first 5 innings.
Ended up with 8 strikeouts, 3 walks for her. Just gave up those 3 hits through 5 innings today. And coming into this weekend, she was day-to-day. We weren't sure if we were going to see her this weekend, but obviously feeling good. And she was really on a roll through the first 4 innings of this ball game. Just gave up that leadoff runner in the 6th inning that, of course, comes around to score. And now Peyton Burnham's going to take the circle for the Arkansas Razorbacks here in the top of the 6th inning. You know, Mark, I want to correct myself. I said last season Tennessee with the regular SEC title. It was Oklahoma with the title. They did have 7 losses. Tennessee won the year prior with 5 losses. Oklahoma last season with those 7 losses.
Yeah, Tennessee won back-to-back years.
Yes. I got
season.
the losses right. I got the team wrong, so my apologies. Oklahoma with that title, of course, last season.
No, the only thing is, I mean, it's the team you played for, so that it just kind of comes
out
of
there.
Sometimes, you know.
I should know better, though.
Yeah.
It was Oklahoma.
0-2, bounce towards the middle. Step on, out to first, double play. Riho, 6'3", twin killing, and Peyton Burnham just in the game. Get some help from that defense.
You know, with Peyton Burnham coming out there in the circle, you're going to see some of those ground balls with that rise ball, drop ball combination that she's going to bring out there. This is that drop ball, so she gets it off at the end of the bat. A great play by Italia Riho, reading that one, taking it by herself to touch second base and throw it over to first for the double play.
Cassidy McClellan. 2 at bats, 2 strikeouts against the starter Herron, and fouls this sharply right over in the Arkansas dugout.
I'm hoping that it hit a clipboard over there and not somebody sitting on the dugout over in that opening down the left field line. Hope everybody's okay. Right back to work.
Yeah, I guess they're all right. They're continuing their duties. Crowd's not too chilly to ride the umpires.
I don't think Courtney Deifel agrees with that call either. It looked like it clipped the top part of the strike zone.
Instead of strike 3, it's a 1-2 pitch, and it's upstairs and evens up. Florida baseball is here in town this weekend. They're playing right now. Not far from here. Florida baseball's up 4-2, top of the 6th with Bob Walker. And there's strike 3. There's the call the crowd was looking for. Burnham gets the strikeout to win the inning, and the Gators settle for just 1 in the 6th.
Arkansas Razorbacks coming through with clutch strikeouts when they need them. Burnham coming on and getting the strikeout, looking on the changeup. Well, it was a historic day for Reagan Johnson out on the field, not just for her production within this game, but what she has brought to this Arkansas program. Recorded the career record tying hit with hit 261, and then broke that record with a bases loaded hit out to right field, and Dakota Kennedy, rightfully so, placing the crown on top of Reagan Johnson's head. She is now officially the hits leader in the Arkansas program.
Passing Hannah McEwen, who played here 2017 to 2022 and finished with 261 hits. And Reagan now at 262 and counting. Ella McDowell leading off. Hogs batting here bottom of the 6th. By the way, when we are finished here, we'll send you directly to the NCAA Men's Hockey Championship. Penn State, Minnesota, Duluth coming up. Up the middle. Lead off base hit for Ella McDowell. She continues to rake here in SEC play.
And it's a great swing too on a changeup. You could see the way that she adjusted her timing on that swing. She picked up that changeup out of the hand, kept her hands back, and drove that one hard right back up the middle.
On base for a second time tonight, as Ella also picked up a walk back in the 3rd. Dakota Kennedy, a base hit last time up. With that gives her a 11-game on base streak, which is the current long for an Arkansas player. Ooh, took a tumble. Sparkman. You see Allison quickly get to her feet and kind of give us a smile there.
Let's take another look at what happened here. Oh, it looks like maybe her toe got caught. That left toe, you can see how it kind of points down into the dirt, and right here, when she brings it up, just kind of gets caught on the dirt there and she falls. She is back up. I hope she's all right. It looked like maybe she landed on her knee too. Seems to be all right. She's going to take a couple of warm-up pitches. Glad to see that she's back up though.
All right. Looks like she says she's ready to go again.
Good to see a smile on her face after that too.
This crowd here gives her some polite applause. Happy she's okay. Great fans here in Fayetteville, eh? It's a chilly night tonight.
They got here early.
But they did. They did. And they fill this place very frequently. You know, they averaged over 3,000 a game a year ago. They support their Hogs softball. Kennedy golfs one out to second base. There's a tag, I believe. Yes, safe at first. Even had Walker come up with that. Not sure if they would have got the out at first, but Kobia does make the tag on McDowell. Let's see the pitch that Sparkman threw here. You see anything out of the ordinary?
Let's take another look at it here. Everything looks normal there. Everything seems to look back to normal. It almost looked like on the one where she ended up falling, her toe kind of got caught. She kind of does an extra hop forward after she releases her pitch, and maybe that toe just got caught. Kind of lent her to be unbalanced.
Fool's Bell there swings well over the top of it, and it's 0-2.
She's back 0-2. I think she's doing all right.
Couple seasons at Florida Gulf Coast for Allison Sparkman.
I know we've talked a lot about the defense too, but there was a play in that Stetson game where Allison Sparkman came into the ball game. She ended up having a slowly hit ground ball up the first base line, fielded it on the run, back behind her, got the out over at first base. It was a great play.
Smoked foul. Good look at Bogle Park. 5 facilities here in the SEC. It's opened back in 2009. You know, I don't want to bring up bad memories for Arkansas Razorback fans, but before Courtney Deifel got here, this was rough in the SEC for Arkansas for many years.
There were times where Arkansas was maybe winning one game in conference play. And the quick turnaround, too, when you talk to Coach Courtney Deifel, she always ends up talking about some of the players that helped to build the program to where it is today. Hannah McEwen, who we've talked about a lot today, being one of those extremely special players to help get Arkansas to the point in 2026 where they are filling the stands with 3,000 people every single game. It's a cold and rainy day, and you have people filled out there on the berm. Of course, Coach Courtney Deifel, a huge reason for that, but a lot of the players coming through and the pride that they took playing for this program, too, is another reason why the fans continue to come out and support.
That's it out to left field, back and then now in. The catch is made by McClellan for the second out. Well, Courtney this is season 11. She took over in 2016, and they went 1-23 in conference play. Their only win was against South Carolina. Then in 2017, they qualified for their first SEC tournament since 2013. Then by the following year in 2018, they hosted a regional. And made it to their first super regional in school history. I mean, it didn't take long. You know, just a few years is not a really long period of time in the grand scheme of things.
Next step for them is advancing to the Women's College World Series. They've hosted a couple of super regionals now, but trying to get past supers, advance to the Women's College World Series, you know, is a goal not just for Arkansas, but teams all across the country, of course.
Yeah, there's certainly still are things to check off the boxes that Courtney Deifel wants to do here in this program, and you just mentioned what that is. Of course, Courtney knows about the Women's College World Series. She played in 4 of them as a player at Cal. And there's a strikeout to end the inning, but it's been quite the story of the SEC. This game's going to go to the 7th. Last chance for the Gators. They're down 4 and have 8, 9, and 1 coming up.
Today. Hey, sports fans, the ESPN app has all of ESPN all in one place. Visit activate.espn.com to see if you have ESPN Unlimited as part of your TV package for no additional cost. It's all of ESPN all in one place. Sign up or activate now.
This game heads to the top of the 7th from Fayetteville, Arkansas. 6-2 Razorbacks leading Florida in this top 10 matchup. In SEC college softball. Game 1 of this 3-game series. 8, 9, and 1 hitters for the Gators. Ella Wazalowski leading off against Peyton Burnham. Ella with a double her last time up, also lined out in the previous at bat, 1 for 2. In the air, left side, and cruising over to her left, Ella McDowell puts it away for the first out. We will get you to hockey here as soon as we're done. The NCAA Men's Hockey Championship. Penn State, Minnesota, Duluth. Coming up as soon as we are finished here on ESPN2.
Western Michigan looking to defend their title from last season. They did win earlier today.
You have some connections to the city of Kalamazoo,
I
so
do.
I know you know all about Western Michigan Bronco hockey.
I do. My dad coached up at Western Michigan for a couple of years, and we followed the Broncos.
A strike to Kumi, and it's 0-2. Burnham came on in relief last inning, quickly got a double play and a strikeout. Games 2 and 3 of this series coming up Saturday and Sunday. You can see those on SEC Plus. It's a big series this weekend in the SEC right here.
I think anytime, too, you get a top 10 matchup, and especially if you're Arkansas, you've got Florida coming into your home field, coming off of that series win against Tennessee. You're doing whatever you can to not just win every single game, but take this series. You want to take advantage of the fact that you are at your home field. Use that to your advantage. They were outside of conference play last weekend, so the last time that they were in conference play, they ended up losing the series to Alabama. So they're coming into this weekend with a little bit of redemption on their mind.
Ground ball to her left. Quick shovel by Davidson, and Florida down to their final out. Well, the Gators dropped game 1 last weekend against the #1 Tennessee. Came back, won the last 2, and they're in danger of the drop in game 1 here in Fayetteville.
The pitching so far today for Arkansas has really been what stood out to me. Robin Heron coming into the game, and weren't sure if we were going to see her this weekend, and she ends up tallying up 8 strikeouts, and that sets the tone for your offense to be able to come through in those timely moments, take advantage of the free passes that they were given on Florida's side.
It would only be the 3rd loss of the season for the Gators. We dropped to 8-2 in conference. Arkansas looking for their 4th win in conference play to go to 4-3. They can hold on here. Rio strike from Burnham. Townsend Thomas back to the circle. Burnham the long underhand toss. And the Razorbacks take game 1 of this series 6-2.
Big win for Arkansas and a big day for Reagan Johnson, too, etching herself down in Razorbacks history as now the career hits leader for Arkansas.
That's going to take care of things from here at Fayetteville. Let's send you to NCAA Men's Hockey. Penn State, Minnesota, Duluth with Roxy Bernstein and Sean Richland. For Maddie, I'm Mark. So long from Hog Country.